So, I just have to share a concept I've heard recently that I vehemently disagree with, and that is a definition of toxic masculinity that I've recently got to hear. And the definition is this: that anytime you assign masculinity to a given personality trait, you are guilty of toxic masculinity. Or if you define a personality trait as masculine, you're guilty of toxic masculinity. Here's why this is nonsense. Utter nonsense. The work's been done on gender differences, biological and personality and temperament at the fundamental evolutionary level. There's some gender differences that are true across time and across cultures. I'm not going to go into what they are. There's plenty of research done on this. The fact of the matter is, yes, there's a lot of overlap, but that doesn't change the fact that certain traits just skew one way or the other. So they are, by definition, masculine, even if women possess them. But like I said, I'm not going into specifics because the work's been done. Now, any character traits that the work didn't cover that I would try to use to make the case that it defines what I mean when I say I am a man, I am guilty of toxic masculinity. And that means anyone who wants to identify what it means to be a man would also be guilty of toxic masculinity, because you can't define something without simultaneously defining what it is not. This is a University of Georgia baseball cap. It is not, thank God, an Alabama baseball cap. So, there we have it. I am clearly rooting for Georgia, and I am definitely not rooting for any other team when I wear this hat. So, I can't say these non-biological personality characteristics are what I use to define myself as a man, because I am by necessity saying these non-biological character traits are masculine, because I am not using them to define any other aspect of my character, such as being a husband or a father or a person or an American. I'm using them simply to define my state of being, that is, I am a man. I'm only using them to explain the statement, I am a man. So why does any attempt to do that result in me being toxically masculine? And the answer is it doesn't. It could be argued that if I tried to impose my definition on others, it would be toxic. But I'm not trying to do that. And it could be argued that if the traits I use to define myself are not positive, or I don't do positive things with them, then I could be considered guilty of toxic masculinity. But simply saying something is masculine cannot be toxic masculinity when male and female differences exist at an evolutionary level. So now I'm going to show you a magic trick. Now, if you stayed till the end of the video, I am going to probably get accused, if anybody comments on this, of being toxically masculine myself. Definitely being misogynist, maybe homophobic, and anti-feminist. So, even though I have made no derogatory remarks about women. I've made no normative standards for masculinity, which I think other men must adhere to. And I didn't even define my own masculinity. So, yeah, that's going to be a fun little magic trick. Y'all enjoy that.